We're only one episode into 1923 Season 2, and I already feel like this season is gearing up to be one of the most intense yet. Every single moment in Episode 1 was packed with tension, hinting that the upcoming episode will be even more packed with higher stakes. If you want to know what will those high stakes look like, this video is perfect for you. If you watched the first season of 1923, you already know that Spencer has been through hell and back, and yet it seems like his fight is never over. Last season, he clawed his way across continents to get home, only to be met with even more obstacles before he could even set foot in Montana. And in Episode 1, things somehow got even worse for him. Still stuck at sea, he ended up in a duel that left another man dead, his wife's former fiancé no less. It was brutal, but at this point, I feel like Spencer is just completely numb to the violence around him. He barely has time to process what he's done before he finds himself on a sketchy tugboat filled with criminals, just trying to scrape together enough money to get back home. Of course, because nothing is ever easy for a Dutton, he ends up getting pulled into a fistfight to earn some extra cash. And not just any fight. This was the kind of brutal in a room filled with testosterone, and I have to admit it gave me old school Hollywood vibes. The sad thing is, in Episode 2, we will give a break to the fistfights in Spencer's story. The good thing is, he no longer lives as the seaman, well, at least for a while. He will reach the land, finally, and start looking for a new ship to sail to America. And guess whose ship will that be? Well, of course it will be the ship Alexandra is in. As many of you know, Alexandra is on a mission of her own. If I thought her journey in Season 1 was emotional, this season is already proving to be even more gut-wrenching. She's in England, completely alone, and running out of time. She's pregnant. She knows she has to get to Spencer before it's too late. The second she sold her jewels and booked passage to America, I knew she wasn't going to stop until she found him. I know not the path nor the manner with which I will find my way to you, she writes in a letter to Spencer. But it is time the journey begin. And honestly, I'm rooting for her with everything I've got. She left her entire life behind for Spencer, and I refuse to believe that she won't find a way back to him. Instead of Montana, they will meet in a ship in the most dire conditions possible. Since Spencer is a worker in the ship, when he wants to reach Alexandra, he will put himself in massive trouble, which will lead to yet another breakup. Back in Montana, things are just as intense. The Dutton ranch is covered in snow, and danger is everywhere. Jacob is still recovering from his injuries, but there's barely any time to rest before another threat arrives. A mountain lion stalking right outside their door. He stares it down, gun in hand, but it's Kara who steps up. The next morning, she walks outside, shotgun ready, and puts the lion down herself. And as much as I hate seeing animals get killed on screen, I have to admit, this was the only chance Kara had. This moment wasn't just about survival. It was about showing how brutal things have already become. The wolves are circling, and the Duttons are ready to fight. And honestly, knowing what's coming, I have no doubt that this is only the beginning. It is expected for Jacob to die this episode, since we know that he won't survive the season. He will get into a fight with Donald in the council, which will lead to his brutal killing. And then, we will witness Kara trying to save the ranch while keeping her family safe. I don't know about you guys, but I'm not ready to say goodbye to Jacob as of yet. Tiana Rainwater has been fighting for her life since last season, and Episode 1 made it painfully clear that she's still not safe. She escaped that horrific boarding school, but the men hunting her haven't given up. Father Renault and Marshall Kent are on her trail, and they're leaving bodies in their wake. It's sickening to watch, especially knowing that this was the reality for so many Native children in history. But Tiana is a survivor. It seems like she and Pete will attempt to settle in Texas and live there for a while since they find the place safe. They will find themselves in the 4-6's ranch, which was just founded back then. And by this way, her story will be linked to the upcoming 4-6's sequel, as we will get to know the foundations of the ranch through Tiana. It is clear that there is a lot to expect from Episode 2 of 1923 Season 2. But let me know which upcoming event are you most excited for. For more weekly updates on 1923, make sure to like and follow. Meanwhile, the video on the screen might also interest you.